Welcome back to the Proximity is Power podcast. We got Alec Burbidge in the house today.
Let's go.
Alec, thanks for coming, man.
Yeah, man. Stoked to be here.
Pumped for this. Quick bio for Alec. So he is from Orem, Utah, and he is an active real estate investor. He's done over $100 million in deals in just the last 5 years alone, which is insane. He's married with 3 kids, and most of his time right now is involved in creating really good deals with creative finance, raising money, and just taking on new and bigger projects, always leveling up. So pumped to talk to Alec today.
Yeah, bro.
Let's dive into it. So Alec, you're from Orem.
Yeah.
So how was let's just dive into your background. Like, what was childhood like for you?
Dude, it was awesome. My parents, you want to talk about the best childhood? I mean, we were traveling all over. My mom would take us to Hawaii for the summers. It was great, man. We lived a dream childhood and had really, really good parents. Grew up in a really good area. Yeah, it was awesome.
Heck yeah. What did you like to do for fun growing up?
Yeah, so I played lacrosse.
Heck yeah.
And then coached lacrosse after college as well. Yeah, honestly, most of my time from middle school up, my free time was spent playing lacrosse. Summers, we were traveling on traveling teams and then fall and spring playing lacrosse.
Heck yeah. I never played lacrosse, but I had a lot of friends that did, and it looked a ton of fun.
Dude, it's a good time. It's so fun.
And it's blown up, and it's getting more and more popular every year, I feel like.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
Growing up, did you know what you wanted to do, or was that kind of a question mark for you?
I had no idea. From a very early age, I was flipping stuff on KSL, or Facebook Marketplace. I flipped a lot of cars, flipped a couple boats, flipped shoes, trading cards, all different kinds of stuff in high school and then in college. And early on, when my wife and I first got married, I was flipping cars to just make extra money on the side to stay alive. So
wow. So what got you into that originally? You just saw some good deals on KSL and you're like, this is worth way more than it's listed for, basically.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, specifically with the cars, for whatever reason, there's something in my mind that is really good at identifying niche markets, whatever it is, and finding or sourcing whatever I'm selling for cheaper. So whether that's trading cards, whatever that is. So when I was in high school, that was cars, and it was honestly I would buy Honda Civics almost within 5 years. It was 1990 to 1995, and they sold really well and they were really popular. So I'd buy just buy them and flip them.
Wow.
Didn't know anything about cars though.
So you just buy them at a good price, negotiate a good price, I'm sure. And then would you fix them up, or were they?
No, I was not. I'm not mechanically inclined at all, dude.
So you literally just would negotiate great deals and then resell them, take better photos, clean them out. Dude,
yeah.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's funny because my little brother, he just left on his mission to Japan.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But in high school, he would find really good deals on Lego sets.
Oh, yeah.
Legit, and flip them for a couple $100 more than he bought them.
Wow.
But he made $30,000 in high school flipping Legos.
Holy cow.
Crazy. I don't know, he just became obsessed with it and started learning when different sets stopped being made, and just saw the trends of which ones would increase in value over time, and held some. He still has a bunch in my basement that he says are gonna double in value while he's on his mission.
Nice.
But dude, that's actually for a young guy to start learning the skill of flipping.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, go to KSL, I know I have some friends that couch flipped at one point, you know?
Yeah.
You can go find cheaper like
Free?
free how like yeah, couches on Facebook Marketplace or
Yeah.
KSL, and take better pictures in a better area and resell them.
Yeah, it's wild, man. It's such a valuable skill to have. Just the ability to identify, um, things that you can flip and sell. Because once you have that skill, um, the skill stays the same no matter what level you're doing it at, right? So you just scale up from there and find the most expensive thing that you can flip.
Heck yeah.
Being real estate for me.
Yeah. So yeah, it's true. Like identifying, things that are undervalued, buying them, and then making them better in some way, or even just taking better pictures, and promoting it better, and you can get you get the difference.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you were interested in that at an early age, and you knew that you liked flipping stuff.
Yeah.
So you graduate high school, and then what happens? Are you thinking college at this point, or what are you thinking?
Yeah. So I went to a college in Virginia and played lacrosse.
Heck yeah.
For a year. And then I went on my mission and I went to Carlsbad, California, Spanish speaking.
Sick.
I tell everyone, dude, it's like any mission in Southern California is the easiest mission in the world, right? Like it's like 80 degrees all year long, driving cars. It's so nice. But yeah, that was definitely one of the most pivotal moments in my life was going on a mission.
How come?
Extremely grateful for that. Just the ability, I mean, honestly, like actually finding out what I was made of, like you don't really have that many opportunities up until that point in your life where you're kind of closing the gap between being a teenager and adulthood, and being put in a spot where I am pushing religion. You want to talk about difficult? Religion and politics are the two hardest things to push by far. And so doing that for 2 years and grinding, like working my butt off, it was awesome for me. It taught me a lot of skills. It showed me a lot of weaknesses that I started to work on. And yeah, man, I loved it. It was incredible.
Heck yeah. Just kind of showed you what you were made of and what you need to improve. What were like kind of some of the weaknesses that you felt like you didn't see until you were on your mission, I guess?
Yeah, disorganization for one. I am extremely ADD, which is a superpower for entrepreneurs. It's incredible. But obviously you have to be extremely organized with it. Otherwise it can be a little challenging. So
you get lost in the sauce.
Yeah, for sure. Just chasing shiny objects. And I really had to get disciplined about that. And then the other thing, one of the most valuable things that I learned was just communication and networking, right? So most of our mission at the time was knocking doors. And I hated knocking doors. So we would put on these big, I'm always trying to find like, and maybe it's like a little bit of laziness in me that doesn't want to go knock doors all day. So I'm like, how can I get all of these people into one place
and just pitch them all at once?
Just pitch them all at once. Yeah. So we'd throw big parties at the church, and I was Spanish speaking. So they obviously love parties, and tons of non-members would come, and then we teach a little lesson and get referrals that way.
Really smart, actually. Yeah.
We were always doing stuff like that, dude. Anything I can do to, get creative, in whether it's finding real estate deals or finding people to teach. So,
dude, I love that. So serve a mission, Carlsbad, which is honestly beautiful spot too. Yeah. And then you get back, and I'm sure you're feeling like you can conquer the world at that point.
Yeah.
And what do you do next?
I went and worked for a company called Lizard Skins. They were here in Orem at the time. They sell like an adhesive grip for a lot of different sports, like mountain biking grips, road biking, baseball, hockey, and they were just starting lacrosse. So I was the manager running the lacrosse division.
Heck yeah. How did that go?
It was okay. There were, I'm not good at a desk. And it was really challenging for me to sit at a desk and make phone calls for, 7, 8 hours a day.
Just didn't fit your personality.
No, I got to be out doing something. Yeah. I was extremely grateful for the opportunity to go do it. The owner, his name is Brian Hurd. He's an awesome guy, and I learned a ton working there. So super grateful for it.
Did you want to go to college? Did you go to college or no?
Yes, I would do like 1 credit a semester and maybe got like 6 credits from UVU and dropped out.
Okay. Yeah, typical.
Yeah.
And then what did you do after that job?
After that, that's when I got into construction. So my family was, currently are still developing land up in Park City. They were putting a lot of units up, like right on Jordanelle. So I went up and worked there. I started there as like part-time in the office and was there for about 5 years and worked up to just managing different areas of the construction that we were doing. Mostly dirt work. So mostly like in a excavator, front end loader, articulated dump for the most part.
Heck yeah. So you're just working full time.
Yeah, I was working a ton. That period of life was so fun for me because it was all my family that was working there for the most part. So like all my brothers were working there. We had no business operating heavy machinery, but we were doing our best.
It's a giant sandbox, basically.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
That's
dude.
cool.
And several $100,000 machines we don't know how to operate. It was really fun. Learned a ton there. But we were working crazy hours at the time, and I had just had my second kid. I have a little girl and then a little boy was my second, and I was hardly ever seeing them. So I started listening to real estate podcasts. You actually just had Brandon Turner on here. I was listening to his podcasts for like 8 hours a day while I was operating an excavator.
No way. Bigger pockets then.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
And that's where I like found out about flipping houses and learned more. And then when I left working there, I went and started working for a house flipping company out of Salt Lake.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
So that initially drew you to real estate investing. Just listen to the Bigger Pockets podcast, basically.
Yeah, bro. I think I Googled like how to retire early or how to like, I was just trying to figure out, I did not want to be doing what I was doing for the rest of my life. And I wanted some more freedom. I wanted to be able to hang out with my wife and kids as frequently as possible. So I Googled something and real estate investing or house flipping came up and then found Bigger Pockets. And yeah, that was the start.
Heck yeah. So you get this, you're like, wow, real estate could be a vehicle where I'd buy back my time, have more time for your family and other hobbies. And then you start working for a flipping company. Yeah. I bet you learned a ton doing that.
Yeah, I did. I was not there very long. But the 2 guys that owned it, they were growing like crazy. It was actually a wholesaling company. And they wanted to start flipping. So I was a licensed general contractor and they hired me. And I flipped a bunch of homes with them. I was planning on being there for several years to learn the process. And I think I was there for like 6 or 7 months, figured it out and quit and started doing it on my own.
Heck yeah. And what year was that? So that was like 5 years ago?
That was like 5 years ago.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, and this is crazy. Okay, so you start and then tell us about your first deal.
Yeah, the first deal I did was crazy. At the time, just to give a bit of context, we had just purchased our first home. We saved up for a long time, got into it, and were there for like just about a year. I didn't know anything about raising private capital at the time. So I actually we sold that house and moved into the basement of a triplex in a storage park in Provo. And my wife worked there for 3 days a week. She managed the park, and we lived there rent free. And so we took a huge risk on this first house. Like, we sold our house and moved into a freaking triplex with 2 kids. And I will be eternally grateful for my wife for like going through all of those years of sacrifice. But our first deal, we found a deal in American Fork. I want to say we bought it for $275, put 40,000 into it, and we thought we were going to make like 30, 40 grand on it. It was me and my brother. And the market took off, and we ended up clearing $100,000 on it. And I was like, dude, at the time I was making like 45,000 a year.
Wow.
So
Busting it.
50 grand in a month. I was like, dude, this is crazy.
Wow.
And then we took off from there and just started buying anything we could get our hands on.
So you literally sold your own home to be able to fund the first flip.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So what was like the idea with that house? How did you find it? Was it like on the market? Was it off market? And then what did you do to it to add value?
Yeah. So this was like an early 2000s build. Mm-hmm. So like just cosmetic. Mm-hmm. One of my high school lacrosse coaches was a real estate agent. Mm-hmm. And I had posted on my Instagram that I was looking for real estate deals, and he sent it over to me, and it was a little high purchase price wise. So we went back and forth, and I put it under contract and purchased it. And
so just flipped it on the market.
It hadn't hit the market yet.
Gotcha. Heck yeah.
Yeah, it was what is called a pocket listing. Uh-huh. So it's coming up and is going to be listed, but
wasn't yet.
Not yet.
Heck yeah. Yeah. And what'd you do? Repaint it? Redo the floors?
Yeah, we just did all cosmetic. So we painted the cabinets, new floors, new lighting, new bathrooms, all new tile. We finished part of the basement. Honestly, just made it cute. And really didn't have much of an idea like design-wise what we were doing. But my wife designed it, and it turned out great. And
heck yeah.
Sold cash, which was great.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And did you, were you doing a lot of the work, or were you hiring that out, managing it, or?
I had hired most of it out. Yeah. I was doing some of the work at the time, but not a ton. Yeah.
And then after that first deal, I'm sure you're like just hooked. You're like, holy crap, I'm doing this all in.
Yeah.
And then what was your plan? Like, do as many as you can in a year? Like, what was the goal?
Dude, I have such an addictive personality for any type of dopamine hit. Yeah. And real estate's like the worst, because you're purchasing this like massive asset. Mm-hmm. I mean, it costs a lot of money to buy a house, and then you're remodeling it, and so you're just dealing with big numbers, and it's very addictive. I was all in. So I just started like trying to find anything and everything that we could. We bought, the second deal that we did, we bought a hotel in Springville and a triplex right next to it. And
like it was one deal?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a package deal.
Wow.
And it's funny because a lot of my like current friends in the real estate world, the flipping world, were actually, they looked at that property and passed on it, which kind of concerned me. But my brother, Zach, is really good with numbers. So he had ran his numbers, and we thought we knew what we were doing. And so we flipped it, and we cleared 650,000 net on the hotel and 150,000 net on the triplex next door. But once again, that was one of those like crazy market, like we just happened to buy it, and then the market took off.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, real estate's been crazy the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even the last like 10 years have been nuts.
Oh yeah. It's been crazy. The last 2 have been rough, but before that it was great.
Yeah. Everything you bought just already was worth more.
Yeah.
Dude, that's really cool. So you start buying these deals and you get hooked. And then I guess what were some of the early challenges you faced when you first started flipping houses?
Yeah.
If any?
Money and contractors are always the issue when you're buying houses. Honestly, like you make your money when you buy.
Mhm.
So the goal, I mean, if you can squeeze a little bit more value out of remodeling it for cheap, that's great. But really, you're going to make your money on the buy. So if you're buying it $100,000 under market and flipping it and selling it, you should be making 100,000 or a little over. But your hard money costs and your contractors will kill you. So we were just like trying to figure out the contracting situation and do things as cheap as we could, obviously, and had some poor contractors at the beginning for sure. A lot that stole money from us, a lot that were really late, months behind on projects. And on a lot of these projects, you're paying 5 to 10 grand a month in interest only payments. So
Wow.
if you're 3 months behind on 4 deals, that could be anywhere from $20,000 to $40,000.
Just an interest every month.
It's gone.
Wow. Just to stay afloat.
Yep.
That's like a big thing I hear about a lot from people that flip is like, yeah, working with contractors. Like you really got to have good partners and good contractors to work with because like sometimes they'll just not show up and you've already paid them a deposit or whatever. Yeah. And you don't really have any leverage to like get the projects going.
Yeah.
So what advice, I guess, do you have for that? Like making sure your contractors stay on time.
Yeah. So what I did was a little bit different. So there's like, people might agree or disagree with me on this, but there is this like sweet spot in flipping where, you flip part-time and you do maybe 1 to 2 flips a year and you're doing a lot of the work yourself, using your own money and you're pretty safe. That's a good way to flip houses. And then at scale, when where you're doing a lot of houses and you can have an in-house crew, that's great as well. So there's this no man's land where you have 4 or 5 flips going. You're trying to do like between 5 to 10 a year and do flip houses full time. And it's really, really hard. That's where I see most people go out of business. So my solution to the problem was doing more houses and hiring a contractor full time. And then we have a full crew of guys that can do most anything that we need hourly.
Wow.
Now.
That's awesome. So you got the team together.
We got an awesome team now. Yeah. So the contracting piece is not
a bottleneck.
Not a bottleneck for us anymore.
That's awesome. And I love what you said about how you make money on the buy, not when you sell. Yeah. Like if you run the numbers right and you get a good deal and you negotiate and find those good deals, then, it's way easier to make money, Yeah. And if you buy it the wrong price, then you could get screwed or, you overanalyze the deal and you end up spending even more than you thought or whatever. And then you lose money. I guess what would you tell someone that wants to get into flipping, like how to find deals, I guess?
Yeah. So I would start, it's hard at the beginning. Getting your foot in the door is obviously the biggest challenge. There's lots of different ways to do deals, whether you're the one bringing money and you're partnering with someone like me. That's a great way to get your foot in the door and do some flips with minimal risk with somebody that has experience. Or doing a live-in flip is another great option where you purchase a property conventional with just a regular loan and you do the work yourself, live in it, and you're safe. Mm-hmm. So those are the 2 ways. That's not how I did it, but those are the 2 safer ways to get started in flipping for sure.
Do you feel like most people start just like finding like their like listings on the market or off market mostly?
You can buy stuff. A lot of the deals that I flip are on market. Yeah, I buy a lot of stuff on market, a lot of stuff off market too, from different wholesalers. Yeah. So you can get on like all of the wholesalers' lists and stuff. But I would highly, highly recommend finding a mentor or a partner.
Yeah.
It's going to save you hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Huge.
Yeah.
Proximity is power.
100%.
Yeah. No, I love this. I also want to ask you, when did you start raising money for deals? Like, when did you realize, oh, like if I had more capital, I could do way more deals and use other people's money to fund them?
Yeah, the second deal. Since the hotel, I don't think I've used my money. I've used any of my money unless it was like we went over budget and I had to pay out of pocket to finish some flips, but I haven't used my money on a deal since then.
Wow.
Since that second deal.
So do you partner with people like do you just let people fund the deal as like a loan, or how do you structure it when you raise money?
Yeah, so it depends how much capital they have. Now it's a bit trickier to raise money. When I first started, I had a lender that would give me 100% of the purchase price, which was great. And then I would go raise the rehab funds. So when we started, we were doing homes that were generally like, $50,000 to $70,000 remodel. Now I pretty much exclusively flip in like Northeast Salt Lake County. So Holiday, Sugar House, East Bench, Avenues area. And our lower remodels are 150,000.
Wow.
With our higher remodels being 300,000. So it's different now than it used to be, or if you're just getting into flipping, it's going to be a little bit different than what we do now. But if I do it two ways now, so I'll do it the same way that I used to, where I have a lender that funds the purchase price, and then I have a lender that funds me the second position money, or I have a few partners that will fund the whole thing, and we just split profits.
Wow.
So
that's sick.
Yeah.
So as you're flipping these houses, I'm sure you thought or have, like, did you keep any of them, or what made you decide once you did the flip to keep like and hold it or to sell it?
Yeah, we sold every single flip we did. Except for our personal homes, we didn't keep anything. The market was like,
it's hot.
Dude, it was crazy. Yeah, for like 2 years straight, I think we sold like, I don't know, 15-ish homes in the first 2 years, and every single property except for one sold cash to a Californian, and the one that didn't sell to a California sold cash to someone from Arizona. But we didn't sell one property for 2 years to a person from Utah. So it was crazy. We were just getting over asking offers, and it was insane. Not realistic. We thought we were geniuses, but it was the market.
It was crazy market. And would you, once you did flip them, would you list them on the MLS, or would you? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. My wife is an incredible real estate agent.
Oh, sick.
And so she lists all of our properties.
Heck yeah. Yeah. And then, so the first 2 years you sold them all.
Yep.
And then did you start keeping some? Like, do you have some right now, or do you sell them all?
Yeah. So we bought when interest rates spiked, like about 2 years ago. It was like, I think April 2 years ago, May 2 years ago. I had like 6 months before we were kind of anticipating the market turning. So I started looking for different vehicles to invest and participate in real estate, because I thought that flipping was going to go away for a bit. So I started studying creative finance. So seller finance, subject to Pace Morby is very well known for that. We joined his program and for a while, we were doing more creative deals than anybody in Utah. We were doing a ton of deals at the beginning, and nobody really knew how to do them. We were getting like the first couple of months, I think the highest interest rate that I had on a property was like 2.5%. We had some that were sub 1% interest rates. It was crazy, just because nobody was buying. So these homeowners that either owned the properties free and clear or had crazy good loans couldn't sell their house for what they wanted to, so they would sell them to us.
Wow. So were you the one like hustling, reaching out to different agents and just like, hey, I noticed your house has been on the market for 100 days. Like, tell me the details. And then you figure out where they're at, like what kind of loan they have and like how desperate they are. And you could even overpay and get a better terms.
Yep.
Dude, that's sick. So you were just structuring deals.
Yeah. I literally spent like almost all day, every day, just I would look at dozens of deals a day and structure and send out offers. So got really good at it.
So you weren't even like, it's not like they had on the MLS, hey, like we're open to seller finance. Like you were.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, some of them were.
Some of them were.
And there's more now too that are doing that too.
It's more popular now.
Yeah, because
at the
of the
time,
high interest rate environment. Yeah.
Yeah. At the time, people were laughing at me. And then a couple months later, when it didn't sell, they'd call me back and
want to talk.
Take our offer. Yeah.
Wow. Dude, that's crazy. So you just started buying these houses with really good terms.
Yep.
And were you flipping all of them basically, or did you start keeping some of them?
All these were rent ready. So for the most part, almost every property we bought was built within the previous 3 years. That's what I was targeting. So any home that was built within that like 3-year period had really good interest rates. So that was just like an easy way for me to go find those interest rates, because I was more interested in the loan terms than I was the actual property itself. And yeah, I think we bought 50 doors and probably transacted over 150 creative deals in like the last 3 years. It slowed down quite a bit.
You're a beast, yeah.
Yeah, but we were doing a ton, and I was selling them to people. So the deals that I didn't want to keep, I would sell to other people.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then how much were you putting down on those deals? I mean, obviously it fluctuated.
Yeah, it varies. So my rule of thumb was I wanted to be cash flowing 10% of my down payment, and that's net. Mm-hmm. So if I'm putting 50 grand down, I want to be cash flowing net $500 a month.
Cash on cash return.
Yeah.
Cool.
Which is non-existent in Utah.
Yeah.
Or I wanted to be cash flowing 1% of the down payment, excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little trickier right now, for sure.
What's that?
It's like trickier right now. Yeah.
Yeah, with interest rates, even it's
like if you buy traditionally, it's like impossible.
Oh yeah.
But like you could still find maybe some creative finance deals that have close to that, or no?
Yeah. At the time we were putting like 5 to 10% down. Sometimes we'd put a little bit over. But now, yeah, for like good deals, you're having to put like 100,000 down. There's like rare deals that are
pop up.
Okay. But yeah, for the most part, people that had those really low interest rates have enough equity now. Their houses have appreciated that they don't need to sell creatively.
So were most of your deals like you were taking over their loan, like sub 2, or was it mostly just pure seller finance?
Both.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of properties that were owned free and clear. And we had a lot of properties that were subject to.
Heck yeah.
So we just took over the mortgage payments on them.
Heck yeah. So what are you focusing on right now? Like what gets you excited right now in life? Yeah.
Yeah. So I have been flipping a lot lately. Anticipating a big market spike this spring. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have 7 flips going right now. Just finished up 3 and should be listing like 5 in the next 3 weeks. And then we have 3 more we're closing on. So I've just been getting my systems really dialed and enjoying putting together a high rent product. So all of the homes that we're selling right now are fairly high end, over $1 million sale price, which is a fun place to play in because you get to do cool things to the houses. You're not just like a lot of the like condos or townhomes or smaller homes that I was flipping in like not as nice areas. It's just like you pretty much do the same thing in every house. So it's nice to have some variation and do some cooler flips.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like where I am right now is like, it's cool. I was talking to my wife about this. I remember driving the neighborhoods that I'm buying in now and seeing like the big dogs when I started flipping. And I was like, dude, 10 years and I'm going to flip a house in this neighborhood. Like that was my goal. And dude, it's just cool. It's cool to be able to do what I'm doing because I love it. It's awesome and really enjoy flipping houses in those nicer neighborhoods that I really never thought I would be. So
Wow. And you've done it in half the time too. That's really cool.
yeah.
Dude, really cool. So I guess, so you kind of like adjusted your business to the market, right? So
Every
like,
time it adjusts, yeah.
yeah, really smart. Because at first you were just like finding these deals, you were flipping all of them, but then interest rates started like getting crazy. So then you saw like the opportunity to like offer people, with creative finance, like to buy their house, or maybe when they were having difficulty selling. And then you started holding the ones that cash flowed, sending everything else off. And then now you've noticed like it's harder to find those deals because it's so competitive right now because everyone's realized like it's really hard to make deals pencil at 7% interest rates. And now you're going back to flipping it a little bit more.
Yep.
Really cool.
Yeah.
I guess how did it go once you started holding those properties? Like, were you guys managing all the properties or like, let's talk about that for a sec.
Yeah, it was rough.
It's a big job. Yeah. Especially if they're spread out too, I'm sure.
For sure. And we bought so many so fast. Just because I was like, dude, these are crazy. These are better interest rates than when rates were good. So I was just trying to buy anything and everything we could. There was a lot of learning lessons. I feel like a lot of my life has been doing things the unconventional way and the way that most people or nobody does. And at least nobody that I know. And so I just have to like, I can't YouTube it. I can't Google it. So I just have to figure out by trial and error. And it's really fun. And also it would be cool if I could have just like been a dentist.
Yeah. Made it more a little simple.
For sure. Yeah.
So I guess when you were starting to hold those properties, were you just renting them all like traditionally, like 12-month leases, or were you doing short-term too, like Airbnb?
Yeah.
Like just depending on the property.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. So we had a couple Airbnbs. I think we sold most of our long-term rentals. And now we still have most of our Airbnbs. But we were just doing anything and everything we could to get the properties leased. So whether it was furnishing it and doing like a midterm or short-term or long-term. So.
Heck yeah. I bet you sold those seller finance too back at higher interest rates. Yeah. Smart.
Yeah. Some of them we did. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Dude, really cool. What are your like big goals the next couple of years? Like you mentioned like at the beginning, you wanted to flip these $1 million houses. Now you're doing that. Like what do you see in the horizon for you?
Yeah. So this year, I have spent... So I joined We Are the They, which you are also a part of.
Heck yeah. Yeah, Jimmy's group.
Yeah, Jimmy's group, which has been absolutely life-changing. I've changed a lot of the priorities from when I started to now. My grandpa had this phrase. He said, when you have nothing, risk everything. And when you have everything, risk nothing. So kind of the two like sides of life when you're just starting entrepreneurship to the point where you have kind of made it. I have not made it, but I am somewhere in the middle where I'm less interested in growing. I'm more interested in scaling down and just being safe. I spent so long risking, leveraging to get to this place, and it cost me a lot of money. It cost me a lot of peace and a lot of sleep. And the reason I started this whole thing in the first place was so I would have time with my family. So my wife doesn't need to work anymore, which was huge for me. And now I'm just working on getting my systems dialed, doing less, and making more per flip. And yeah.
Heck yeah. I love that. Sometimes, yeah, less is more, right?
For sure.
And dude, I love what you said, because like I think so many people can relate to this, especially, you know, late teens, early 20s, of like once you first like graduate high school or college or wherever, and you're like starting this journey and you're starting your career, it's like do whatever you can to like make money, like survival, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, but once you do start making some money, it can get addicting, like you said, like,
sure.
like obsession, right? And you get addicted to it, and then you start like getting more and more and more, and you kind of like, a lot of people, and I did this, like lose sight to like what's most important in life. Like, and it's like, why are you truly hustling at the beginning? It's like family, more time with family, like being more present, having more freedom to do what you want, when you want, with who you want. But then you keep saying yes to things and you're like obsessed, and then it gets even more busy, and then pretty soon you realize like you're not even free, like you have to go answer to this person, you know, and you just are like, wow, I'm juggling all these things. So like that's cool that you're kind of like taking a step back and like, okay, what do I really want? Like what truly matters? And like Alex Hormozi talks about how like, you only need to make money once. Like if you're smart with it, like so many people just, you know, bet the farm every time, and then you can, you know, the market changes or whatever, and you lose everything, and then you're back to square one, right? And then you got to go through the obsession phase again and just repeat. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
Just shifting gears a little bit. We mentioned this a little earlier, but the podcast is called Proximity is Power. So do you believe that proximity is power? And if so, how important has it been to you in your life, Alec?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it has been everything in my life. Almost every single deal that I get is from somebody else. Most of my deals that I get now are not. I don't look for deals hardly ever anymore. So these are all people that I've met that are, you know, providing me deals to live the life that I live. And then in addition to that, obviously joining We Are the They and Jimmy's program was incredible. To be around people of that caliber as frequently as we are. And it's the ultimate life hack. I know you spend lots of time and money going to you know, seminars or coaching events or coaching programs. And like, if I could go back and give myself one piece of advice, it would be to hire experts as frequently as possible. And now I spend a lot of money and a lot of time on different coaches for lots of different things. And it saves me a lot of money and a lot of time and heartache.
Amen. And it's like you mentioned with Jimmy, like maybe you were expecting to learn how to make more money, but he like probably opened your eyes to like, holy crap, I'm working too much. I need to like prioritize my family more and stuff like that. That's really cool. No, hiring experts, like it saves you time, money, and heartache. Like that's for sure. Like you can literally save yourself so many mistakes. Like one of my favorite quotes is like dumb people laugh at people's mistakes. Smart people learn from their mistakes, but wise people learn from others. Yeah. And it's like, the more you can do that and the more you can learn from others. And like Jimmy's like had so much success in life, like learning from him is huge, right?
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, he's built an awesome program, and it's been amazing. So.
What are like the biggest takeaways you've had from Jimmy's program, I guess?
Oh, dude. It's touched every aspect of my life. Specifically, I was talking to one of the guys in my group yesterday. I think what it's given me that's been most important to me is a lot of confidence and self-love, which has eliminated, for the most part, neediness in my life and has created a lot of abundance, which has changed everything for me because, it's just created a lot of safety for me.
I love that. Heck yeah. Who were some of your big mentors along the way and why?
YouTube. The first company that I started with, they helped me out with like finding deals and writing contracts, but honestly, I didn't ever hire a mentor. It was mostly just me Googling and watching YouTube. As far as like real estate goes, when we got into a creative finance, we did hire Pace Morby. But yeah, I wish I would have hired a coach. I never did.
Like a specific like house flipping coach or just to learn how to do what you were doing better, faster.
Yeah. If for those of you that are looking for a coach in real estate, I really like Brad Lancaster. He's incredible. He's here locally and, he's amazing. He's what I wish I would have had.
Is he like a house flipping coach? Heck yeah.
Yep.
What advice would you offer to aspiring real estate investors who are just starting out?
Yeah, I would say find a niche. A lot of times, people will get into real estate like I did and just see all of the different ways that you can make money, and they won't be good at anything. They'll be okay at everything and not make great money.
Yeah.
Or lose a lot of money. The better you can get at like a specific niche or flipping in a specific area, you get really dialed, and that's when you really start to make good money.
I love that. No, it's true. Because there's like you said, 100 different ways you can make money in real estate, from Airbnb arbitrage to wholesaling to buy and hold, like to being a real estate agent, right?
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of ways. All of those ways are great ways to lose money too.
Yeah, for sure.
And a lot of money.
Yeah. So choose a niche. I love that. And then also, like get educated, like hire an expert, like get proximity early. Yeah, that's huge. What are some of your favorite habits that you have in life, if any?
Ooh, yeah. I do a weekly review. That's really important to me. The other thing that has been super important to me as of late is discussing my goals and visions with my wife as frequently as possible. So at least once a week, we'll sit down and talk about, our goals and visions and where we're at, and just do a review. But early on in my marriage, I didn't make her part of our decision making, and it really affected our marriage. So now we've done all of this together. So
heck yeah, being aligned and on the same page is really huge, I'm sure.
Yeah. And then the last one that's been absolutely incredible is 3 gratitudes a day, which I think you just posted about this the other day.
I did.
You do this, but dude, there's nothing that when I joined Watt, I was not in a good spot. I was dealing with some PTSD, and I was financially had just gotten absolutely devastated from the previous year of real estate. We got caught with some properties that we lost over $1 million that year. And it was a really hard time in my life. But doing those 3 gratitudes a day, just for whatever reason, like I had to sit down and look for 3 things to be grateful for. And that wasn't a muscle that I had developed, but doing it every single day, now I just automatically am looking for things to be grateful for. And it changed my whole perspective, which I don't remember what the quote is exactly, but basically it says your perception of the world is not the world, and your perception of the world is your world, but it's not yours. Like how I view the world, I could view it super negatively and you could view it super positively, and we could be going through the same situations.
Yeah, same circumstance, yeah.
And that was like, I didn't know that. I didn't know that other people viewed the world in a different way than I did, which is so funny.
Yeah.
But just hearing other people's perspective or lens, has changed mine a lot. And I've worked a lot on my perspective or body regulation and how to deal with like stress or anger or whatever as it's coming up. Yeah, that's as much as anything, just working on myself has been huge.
That's huge. Yeah, because like literally people can go through the same thing and have like one person could be going through the same thing as another and be living in complete bliss and the other in complete misery.
Yep.
And it's literally like your mind, right? And like the thoughts you choose to focus on. Because like Tony Robbins says, like you're always like focusing on either what's missing. Like most people in life like focus more on what's missing than what's already there.
Yep.
And like if you can get in the habit of gratitude, like focus more on what you have and what's in front of you more than what you're chasing, you'll be so much happier. And it makes so much sense, right? And it's really crazy too to know like, dude, truly people are in their own worlds. Like living in their own world, like what's important to one person is totally not important to another. Like, and you have this lens of the world that's totally different than and unique to everybody else. And it's just like realizing that is huge. And then also realizing like you can shape your reality and like whatever circumstances you are, you can find joy, you can find peace, you can find gratitude, like you can find love, and it's like, if you have a daily habit practice of gratitude, huge place to start. So that's really cool.
Yeah, man. Your mental perspective of life is way more important than what's actually going on in life.
It's true. One of my favorite books is called As a Man Thinketh. I don't know if you read it.
Yeah,
it's so good. But it says like, picture your mind as a garden. And the thing is with your garden of your mind, like if you don't plant flowers, weeds will automatically grow.
Yep.
Because like the default mind, like the mind isn't to help you be happy. The mind's not here to help you, thrive, be in the top 1% in life or whatever. It's there to help you survive. And most of your thoughts by default are there to protect you and are mostly negative.
Yep.
So if you're not putting good seeds in, planting flowers every day, being around good people, good conversations, good lyrics and music, finding things you're grateful for, like the default mode is weeds. And then that's when your world can get blurry and depressing and sad and you get in your head about it, right? Like Tony says, if you're in your head, you're dead. And what he means is like, if you're in your head, if you're in a survival mind, if you're not planting flowers, you're going to just be living in a world of weeds, right? Yeah. And they hurt sometimes. So
yeah, man. And that is the difference between, like we talk about the law of abundance and scarcity, right? And the difference between abundance and scarcity, and the opposite of abundance is to have enough. And you're the one who gets to decide what is enough, right? So as you're taking account of your life, like really you should start with what's inside, and then that eliminates this like needy energy that repels abundance. And that comes from, like you said, gratitude, self-love, confidence. And then all of a sudden you don't need anything else. Like I'm good with me. So I don't need a nice car. I don't need a nice house. Like I'm happy inside. And then that's when abundance comes, because you don't need anything. So if I have all of these opportunities coming to me and I can say no to all of them except for the best ones. But when you live in scarcity, you're so wired to, like you said, find what you need or have something that you feel you need, that you just live in this crazy space, and you can't have abundance in that space.
Amen.
And you can't manifest in that space either.
Yeah, it's true. Tony, talking about Tony again. He says like there's two worlds you need to master, the internal world and then the external world.
Yeah.
But like you first have to master your own thoughts, your own emotions, your own feelings. Like you have to master that. And he's like, you can't master the external world ever. Even if you've mastered the internal, you can't control who's president. You can't control if gas prices go up tomorrow. Like there's so much outside of your control, but you have to master your internal in order to influence the external. You can influence your external world, but you can't master it. But you can master your internal. So
yeah, the internal really creates the external, right?
Yeah, exactly. So no, really cool. What's something that you've done, Alec, that we should all do in life or just in general?
I mean, we've talked about hiring coaches. I would say one thing that I feel that I'm very good at is, at least now, is creating experiences and creating and maintaining relationships with other people. Those are for sure the most valuable things to me currently, is having a small, tight-knit group of killers that I love and have my back, and vice versa. And then number one is my wife and kids. So as long as I am maintaining those relationships and creating experiences for me to experience those relationships, that's what I'm most focused on now. And I would say others should put an emphasis on as well.
I love that. Okay, this part, 3, 2, 1 pivot. What are 3 books that have impacted you the most and why? 2 people and 1 quote.
Oh, baby. 3 books.
Yeah.
The Mountain Is You is a phenomenal book as you're going through and reprogramming your brain. And it talks about what you and I were just talking about, like the challenge is all internal. It's not external. And mastering yourself is huge. So I really like that one. Rich Dad, Poor Dad is incredible. I read that at the very beginning of my real estate journey and discusses finance. And then the last one I would say, with my marriage has helped a ton is, either the masculine in the relationship or, we'll do that one. That one's a great book.
Dude, heck yeah. I haven't even read 2 of those. So
it's really, really good.
The Masculine in the Relationship, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and The Mountain Is You.
Yep.
Love it. 2 people that have impacted you the most and why? I mean, you mentioned a bunch, but.
Yeah, my, off the top of my head, my mom has been like she's been an incredible cheerleader, and I've never met, except for my wife, ironically, I've never met another mom like my mom. Like I can honestly say from the moment I was born up until now, she really did try her very best every single day. That's what it seems like, you know.
Wow.
I'm sure she had hard days, but I don't know anybody else like her. I mean, she was constantly had a job and then had a bunch of crazy kids, and she was incredible. And then my wife would be the person that has definitely influenced me the most. Just seeing like her patience with me from the time we got married and I was just a freaking idiot, to now, I'm extremely grateful for her and her ability to see who I could become, much more so than who I was at the time. So
wow, love that.
Yeah.
And then 1 quote.
1 quote. Oh man, that's hard. Let's circle back to that one. Let me think about it.
Okay.
If we're not done with the podcast,
I really like. I wrote down the one that you said earlier. When you have nothing, risk everything. When you have everything, risk nothing. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, that's a good one.
If you had the world's attention for 2 minutes, what would you want them to know, or what would your message be?
Dude, I would just talk about love and how life is not as serious as we're making it. Like, it's just not as serious. And as soon as you can take a step back and start viewing like life through a like childish lens as far as like curiosity when approaching problems or difficulties, and approaching situations with love and empathy and understanding. Like, dude, we're all just here trying our best, and people are going through really hard stuff. So like, let's just try to approach situations with empathy and love. And just, life is not that serious. Like, why are we getting so worked up over these little things that do not affect us at all?
Yeah, don't really matter.
Yeah.
I literally was telling my wife yesterday, I'm like, babe, I need to relax. Like, I take my life, I take everything so serious. I'm like, I just need to chill. Like, I just need to learn the skill of chilling. You know?
Detaching yourself from the outcome is really hard to do. But once you can do that, I mean, it's just incredible.
Yeah, love that. Awesome. This has been a ton of fun. Where can people find you, Alec?
Instagram. My handle is Alec Flips Houses. Hit me up if you're looking to lend money, partner, want to know more about real estate. Yeah, DM me.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, Alec, this has been awesome. I've learned a ton, and I'm sure everybody else has. So thanks again for coming on today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Thanks for listening, guys. And until next time, peace.